Hi everyone, we are back for another live. I hope everyone has been well. Last time we had such a fantastic trivia with you guys, but today I have a guest with me. I'm just gonna pin the comment first very quickly before I can invite her in. Oh, this is always... There we go. Okay, so today we have Sofia, Miss Universe Mexico, and I hope that she's already on here and we can get her as quickly as possible. So Sofia, if you are anywhere... Okay, I don't know if Sofia's logged in yet because I cannot find her. So let's see. Sofia, if you are in here, please send me a request. I'm also sending you one on my side as well. So we'll wait. But how have you guys been? How are you still on lockdown? Are you back to work? How's everything? Okay, Sofia's not on yet. But while we wait for her, I know that you guys probably have a couple of questions for her that you want to know, whether it's about pageant stuff or you want to know about Sofia or me, just anything. We will be able to answer your questions towards the end of our session. So please drop your questions on the question box thingy that's there. It's much easier for me to find your questions when you do it that way. We will be answering them and just, you know, having very light conversation with you guys. So I'm gonna go back and look for Sofia again. Hopefully we'll find her this time. So please come through. Ah, there she is. And we will be ready. I'm so excited for this one. I'm so excited. Sofia.
Hey Queen, how are you?
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, you?
I'm fantastic. You look amazing as usual.
You know, the red lips is part of my motto, so I'm here wearing
I was about to say, here you are with your iconic red lip that you had on your final night. You looked absolutely amazing then, and you look fantastic even now.
That is so sweet. You looked amazing. I mean, there's a reason why you're crowned, so you're just the best queen ever.
Thank you so much. The last time I saw you, I was holding your, I'm trying to figure out which hand, your left hand, and there was the three of us on stage. That was the last time I saw you. Yeah. I was holding your left hand and we were all just having a moment of our lives, you know. How have you been since then? You know, since after Miss Universe?
It's been weird, you know, since we have all been in a huge lockdown, and everything that we had planned for this year is kind of pushed over. I had a big plans for this year, but I'm still happy because I have work and my family's fine. So I guess that makes me very blessed. But I'm excited about what happened at Miss Universe. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good, but like you said, we've all had this unexpected wave of, you know, the pandemic. Nobody saw it coming, and so I think we've all just had to adjust to what is happening. But I guess we just have to be grateful for health, you know, be grateful for our families and for our loved ones, and just keep sending out prayers and help to those that who need it. But yeah, I've been good myself. Thank you.
Well, that sounds good. I mean, you're living in New York. That's kind of like the dream. So
yeah.
Things have been going like really hard there, right? In New York, there's a lot of cases of the virus.
There has been a lot of cases in New York, which is why I'm still, you know, in my apartment, still socially distancing, because there's still a lot happening here in New York, so we can't really do much out there. But like I said, still social distancing, hoping other people are doing the same too, you know, because once we stop moving, the virus stops moving as well.
Right.
But how is it in Mexico? Is it as bad as it is here, or is it better?
I think the worst country right now is United States, talking about numbers. But here in Mexico, we have a lot of numbers as well. We have a lot of cases. We don't have a lot of social responsibility, so that's been messing with the whole healthcare system. I think we're going back to where we were a month ago, talking about increasing numbers and how many people are getting the virus. So right now we're kind of worried, but I'm still working, and I know that we should all stay home, you know, to stay safe. But there are some people that we can just leave our jobs because we have some responsibilities. So we're trying to make our jobs as safe as possible. We're trying to, you know, enjoy them, but being social distance. And yeah, I mean, it's been weird, but we're trying to make it work.
Yeah, we do. We do. All we can do is try and make it work. And speaking of numbers that keep spiking, it's quite crazy because South Africa is quite the same as well, where we had a number and it looked like it was getting better, and now it looks like we're going backwards and more backwards every day, which is a bit scary. But again, I think it's up to us as individuals to try and take care of our health as well. Start following the rules and the regulations that our governments are putting out there. But yeah, like you said, it's a very weird time, but we're all trying to sort of navigate it and find how to live in this new normal.
Right, right. And we never thought this could happen, you know, this big worldwide. But now that it's happening, we as human beings have been learning throughout, you know, ages how to adapt, because whoever doesn't adapt, you know, dies. So we're trying to adapt, and even the companies that are right now, you know, coming out of the ashes, they're getting bigger and they're getting stronger. So us as humanity, I think we're about to see a huge change in the way we behave with each other, in the way we understand how important it is for us to stay together, stay united. And that's what's most important to me.
Absolutely. United, we are stronger. Sophia, you came onto, Miss Universe. You represented your country. You became a voice to so many women. And I think it's something that you are still doing even now. Like, what has been your biggest lesson throughout your journey?
The Miss Universe journey, I think the most important thing for me for a very long time has been the importance of emotional and mental health. And I've always talked about that. And maybe my followers already seek the subject, but I think it's so important that I should keep talking for my entire life. Because we believe that there's nothing more important than physical health, or there's nothing more important than, you know, success or happiness. But I think the most important thing in our lives is to actually feel perfectly well with ourselves, and not just talking about how we feel physically, you know, I'm talking about how you feel with your decisions, with who you are, with the way you're thinking, the way you're feeling. That was my message throughout Miss Universe. And when I lived the whole experience, I understood how important it was for me to live my own words. Because sometimes you just, you know, have an idea of how life should be, and then you go to a place like Miss Universe and you learn so many things from so many girls from different places in the world, and then you understand that what you believed in is what makes you different, and that's what makes you who you are. So what makes me me is the strength and the power I give to every single one of my thoughts, and how those thoughts are going to help me decree and help me create my future or even my present. And that's going to actually help me to build the life that I'm trying to live. But throughout Miss Universe, I had some, how can I say it? Like, I had some doubts even in the way I thought about myself, because there are some people out there who didn't believe that I could do it, that I could do the job, that I could fill the shoes of a Miss Universe Mexico. And for a second there, I actually believed them, you know, because we understand that people have a creation in their minds, a stereotype of what a girl should look like in a beauty pageant. But that helped me realize that a girl is not what other people think she should be. A girl is who she is, and if she falls in love with that, people are going to start falling in love with it as well. And maybe that's what happened as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with every word that you just said. The whole journey, I think, was a constant learning and understanding of who we are, and positioning ourselves in the world and positioning our messages to the world. And so what you said is absolutely spot on. And you said a lot about, during the competition we learned so much from each other. And I remember we used to have conversations here and there, and there's this particular one that we had during lunch that we were speaking about yesterday, where we had a conversation about, you know, the marginalized, and we spoke about social discrimination a lot. And on the phone yesterday with you, and this morning, you told me something which is quite special, which deals with social discrimination right now in Mexico, where you are fighting to have Mexico host different kinds of pageants, all kinds of pageants. Do you mind telling me about that? Because I think it's such a unique message of fighting some kind of social discrimination.
Well, we have a lot of different kinds of social discrimination here in Mexico. We all got together in the Black Lives Matter, but we forgot how we are also discriminated our own people. We discriminate people that look Mexican, that are Mexican, because somehow we believe that we have the power to just talk to someone that really looks like a native Mexican person, and to look at them, they're not as important as someone from Europe or somewhere else. And that, I think that's mistaken, because we have to understand that whatever you are from, whatever you look like, you're just amazing for being yourself. We have that kind of discrimination that happened to one of our amazing actresses that I think 2 years ago she had a nomination for an Oscar, but she was so Mexican that people started rejecting her right away just because she looked Mexican. We have that kind of discrimination. We wanted to talk about that. But there's also this kind of discrimination that we have against women that want to choose their way of their decisions on how they are women, One of those subjects is right now really important in Mexico, because there's this political group that wants to cancel all these beauty pageants around Mexico, and they want to make them illegal. Not only for the girls to compete, but for also everyone that's being involved, the designers, the makeup artists, or whoever wants to, promote this kind of beauty pageants. And they want to cancel them. They want to make them illegal, because they believe that pageants are making girls try to force a stereotype. And it's kind of like a symbolic discrimination or a symbolic violence. And just to me, it doesn't make sense, because, Miss Universe and this kind of big pageant platforms, they're trying to empower women, and they're trying to make women understand how important it is for them to have their own message, for them to have their own voice, and believe in something, and go out there in a huge platform and talk about that, and feel confident about themselves, and feel confident about just being the Miss Universe phrase, the beautifully confident, or confidently beautiful. I think it's so important for us to understand that we cannot, as women, because this political group is actually made out of women, we cannot, as women, we cannot try to oppress other women into deciding what they want to do with their lives, because that's not being feminist. Being feminist is to understand that every woman has the right to choose whatever they want to do with their lives. And you cannot just oppose or impose your idea into someone's life just because you don't believe in that. Absolutely. So that, fighting for right now.
No, I absolutely agree. Women are, usually at the receiving end of all this discrimination. As a woman, and as a woman of color, what have you ever undergone any kind of prejudice, like a personal prejudice that you have undergone?
Oh, so many. I mean, sometimes it happens that if you are a woman or a woman, people start believing, especially if you're a beauty queen, that you have nothing left to say than, beauty tips, or there's so much stigma into learning that a girl has way more to offer to the world than the way she looks. And in a beauty pageant, it so beautiful. That's why I liked you winning. It is so beautiful that someone that's so far away from what we're used to seeing in a beauty pageant has a word, has a voice, and has the strength to stay in a stage and say, I believe in this, and this is what girls should be believing. So you can tell us as well if you have ever lived this kind of discrimination just for being a beauty pageant queen or a beautiful girl. We'd love to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can continue to drop your comments and questions on the box. Before you came in, Sofia, I told them that they could ask us a couple of questions towards the end. So we will be taking in those questions. So I hope you are ready to engage with the fans. But I want to ask you something else, Sophia. Speaking of just discrimination, whether it's, gender, race, sexuality, social class, there's so much divide in the world. The playing field is not level. The playing field is not fair, to a certain amount of people. What do you think, it will take for us to get to that place as the world? Who has to change? What has to change? Like what must happen? What do you think is the first step that we can do maybe as individuals to get there?
I think it's a very, very, it's a very complicated process, because for that change to actually really, really happen, we would have to change as a humanity. We have to understand that we cannot just judge others by our own beliefs, by the way we have been raised, our education, our own opinion. I mean, there's absolutely no truth that is absolute. And we have to understand that every single person in the world has their own world in their head, and they have their own process, and they lived a different life than yours, and they believe and have a different education than yours. So as long as we understand that, there's going to be less discrimination, because we're going to understand that we have to treat each other as humans, not as machines that have to act or believe or think accordingly. And we as a society cannot keep asking each other to be the same. So maybe the first step would be to try to keep raising our voices as much as we can, to get people to get together in different platforms, which is what we did in Miss Universe and in different platforms that are out there, to keep raising our voices about the importance of just accepting and tolerating that we are different. And as humans, we're just one race. We shouldn't be fighting against each other for having different types of, everything, color, weight, sigmas, even sexual orientation or preferation or whatever you want to call it, right? So I guess what we have to do is just understand that there's nothing more important than us being just human. And we have the same kind of wounds. We try to find the same kind of happiness. We try to understand the importance of just the process of healing. We come from the same fears, but we're trying to love, and that's the most important thing we should try to do, actually.
Absolutely. I agree.
What do you think about this?
What you just said, all of it, understanding that we are so much alike than we are different. And also, in as much as we are different, it's so important to also understand our differences. We may be similar, but we're not the same. And so it starts with tolerance, like you said, and understanding that we don't all have to be the same. We all are different. We're created to be different. And so this whole thing of having a superior way of the right way is not okay, because we can't all, we are so versed as human beings, like you said. We should have the freedom to choose our sexuality. We should have the freedom to choose how we identify and to be just who we are. So I agree, but also just taking it a step further and challenging systems, challenging corporations, challenging governments to dismantle, systems that are built to oppress, minorities that we've been speaking about, systems that are designed to oppress women, to oppress, people who choose to identify differently in their sexuality. So we need to start dismantling patriarchy. We need to start dismantling sexism. We need to start, dismantling homophobia. There's so much that can be done. And I think it all starts with learning from each other, learning about who we are, learning acceptance and learning tolerance. So yeah, a lot still needs to be done. And I think healing needs to be done, because what we usually do is we like to put a band-aid on top of a sore before we clean the sore. And so putting on a band-aid on top of a wound makes it worse. So we need to look deep into what is causing society to be the way it is today. We need to deal with that and then put the band-aid on top. We shouldn't start with the last things. So yeah, a lot needs to be done, but I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful in humanity, and I think we can still do it. It's not too late.
Yeah, and you have a very privileged position right now. A lot of people can hear you. So we're expecting, hoping that you can really make a change for a lot of people right now. So that crown, Miss Universe crown, is something that's going to give you some power to really actually create a change. And I know it's right now really hard because of the whole coronavirus thing, but I know and I believe in you that you can actually do something for that. So
thank you. Thank you so much, Sophia. Okay, so I'm going to jump onto the questions. I hope you guys put in questions for us because we are ready to answer. I'm so sorry for giving you my forehead. It is the way it is. Okay, so wait. So there's a lot. I'm gonna have to try and go through all of them. Some I think are in Spanish, and I wish I could understand, and I wish that you could see them as well.
try.
Shoot. Okay. They're asking. Okay, Sophia. Someone wants to know what's been keeping you busy these days.
Oh, well, right now I am the TV host for The Voice, you know, that TV show where people can go sing, and then there's some coaches that press the buttons, you know. Right now that's keeping me real busy because I'm on the show all day long, all week long. But it's really exciting because it's helping me, you know, stay in my dream job, which is, you know, taking a microphone and speaking my mind. I get to speak with the participants or the contestants that do not get a place, and then I get to speak to the ones that do get a place. So somehow I get both of the faces, you know, of the challenge, and I tell them what they should do in case they feel sad, and a little bit what they should do in case they feel excited. So yeah, a little bit of that.
Congratulations on that, by the way. It's always so lovely for me to see, you know, people living their, you know, their biggest dreams. So congratulations definitely on that. Feeling about being chosen as top 3. I don't know if this is like for you or for both of us.
Oh gosh,
somebody wants to know how you felt.
You should start, I believe.
Because
you were the last.
It's very. Huh?
You were the last one to be chosen as a top 3, so maybe that was like.
I was actually the second one to be chosen top 3. I was the last one for top 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
Top 5 was the last one. Top 3, I was the second one. It's, you know, for me, when I made top 3, I was happy. I was happy at that point. I was like, you know what? I'm standing with these 2 amazing women, and I feel like whoever wins is so deserving of it because we all stood there with our voices and what we believe in, and I believed in my heart of hearts, you know, that whoever wins is going to do
amazing
justice to this job, you know, is going to do amazing. So I think just being in top 3 for me was like a win enough, you know, because I was like, I came, I saw, and I conquered. So it was such a beautiful feeling. And the fact that they don't call your name, they call out your country, is something else that makes you like super proud, because it's like, oh my God, it's like my whole country, you know, millions are standing with me on the stage, and it's not just myself. But how did you feel?
Well, for me, it was so fast. I mean, we were just starting to, you know, feel nervous, and my name was already out there, and, you know, you just so I felt my whole country with me. I felt everyone who believed in me with me right there in the stage. I felt like I was holding hands with my family, with my friends, with whoever believed in me. With so many fans that were part of the journey, and I actually like promised them that as much as I was on the stage, I was going to be thinking of them because they were part of that journey the whole time. But I think every time they called Mexico, in the top 10, I was the last one. So I was kind of like, that was harder. But every time about Mexico, I just felt like that was what was supposed to happen. And if they did Mexico, the same, you know, because everyone has their own place in life, and I don't believe that anything could have been different, or that I couldn't have done anything better or worse. I mean, I just gave my whole heart, and when they called Mexico, I just felt so proud to be giving my heart for as long as I could, because, you know, this dream has been going on in my life for more than 20 years. I wanted to go to Miss Universe since I was like 4 years old. So for me, it was like, this is just a dream come true, and I bring with my heart everyone that has believed that I could do it. So that was the whole thing.
Absolutely. I remember actually having that conversation with you about, you know, wanting to try out for Miss Universe since you were 4. And I was like, oh my God, that is like, it's the most beautiful thing for me to hear, you know, somebody having a dream and working, you know, your whole life towards it, and manifesting it and seeing it over and over again. And then it happens, you know. So I think it's such a beautiful story for other people to take lessons in as well, to know, to believe so much in the power of our dreams, you know. I think it's such a beautiful message and a beautiful story. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Again, there's so many questions I wish I could read that are in your language, and it makes me sad that I don't know the language.
Right, you can try the letters or the...
Okay, so here's another one. Someone says, teach her a little Spanish. I'm ready. I'm ready, Sofia.
What do you want to say right now? Like, there's so many people that are here from Mexico or from Latin America. What do you want to tell them? And I'll tell you in Spanish.
Okay, so I want to say, I hope to visit Mexico one day.
Okay, so you say, espero visitar México.
Espero, is it visitar?
Visitar México.
What was the last one?
One día.
Un día. Okay, let's say all of it.
Yeah, I have to say all of it. We have a lot of words.
Okay. Espero
visitar México un día. Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, last one. How do I say sending all my love to Mexico?
Les mando
todo
mi amor. Sí.
That sounds so beautiful. Oh my God. It's like,
that was beautiful.
It sounds really beautiful and exotic, and like it's definitely something that I need to take up and learn. But wow, it sounds absolutely amazing. So let's see if somebody has another. One day I'm going to teach you my language. Whenever I try teaching somebody words, they always look at me like, what did you just say?
But it's beautiful. I believe it's beautiful. And for now on, you will no longer say Mexico. You have to say Mexico.
Mexico. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the right way to say it.
Harvey, the first time he called out my name, he said Mexico because I asked him to. Okay. I was, if you call out my name, please say Mexico.
Please say Mexico. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. I always love learning. So that's a fantastic way. Mexico. Okay.
Yeah, Mexico.
Let's see. Somebody, I thought I was getting more questions.
Let's see.
Somebody said, how do you feel about seeing each other again?
Oh, well, how about you? How do you feel?
It's very exciting because, like I said, the last time I saw you was literally on stage and everything was crazy, and I was holding your left hand. And actually, you know, I don't know if you remember this, but you, after I'd answered in top 3, my final word, I answered that you were the first one, and then I came next to you, and literally you said to me, oh my God, that was so amazing. And I said, thank you, Sofia. And it was like, I think it was such an honest and beautiful moment, because that's the last thing that we said to each other, I think, before now, and before talking on the phone. And I loved that moment so much, because in as much as we were competing in a competition, it was still about women uplifting each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't always have to be fighting with each other. And in that moment, we just felt like we should be there for each other. And I think it was just beautiful. So yeah, so seeing your face again, it makes me super happy, because it reminds me of that moment that we had shortly there on stage.
When you just right now mentioned this, I just got goosebumps all over my skin. I do remember you were talking about leadership. You were talking about, you know, empowering women in such deep levels. I've always admired you, Zozi, and I told you when we were having lunch in the Tyler Perry studios, and I believe you're very strong. You're very passionate about, you know, your causes, and that's really, really powerful. And I do remember hearing your answer I thought you were such an amazing, you had such an amazing mentality and personality, and you were so honest in the stage. So I really felt so proud to be standing there with you. That's why I told you those things. And it was really honest. And it was, you said right now, we were competing, but I never felt from any Universe 2019 generation that we were competing. We
At
were
all.
all together. We were creating a huge, really deep friendship. I still feel like all of you guys are my sisters, my friends, and I feel like it's amazing that we have a sister in every single country, or well, not in the world, and it's just a way to show people that women have no longer the branding, or the, how can I say it, like the label of being always catfighting, being always against each other. It's not even in the game right now. Girls are all for each other. We're getting together and raising our voices for the same kind of thing. We've been going through the same things for years, for centuries. So now it is an amazing time to be a girl. It's an amazing time to be a woman, because it is our jobs to show what we can do when we're together, how strong we are when we're together. So that's what I felt when I was with you. And I just felt like I wanted to hug you and, just tell you how amazing you were and how proud I was of you.
Thanks, Sophia. And I really love that, because people think we're always fighting, or it's like a competition when we're there. And it doesn't happen, guys. Like, everybody gets along. And I think because people are rooting so much for us and everybody wants their country to win, they start fighting amongst themselves, and they start imagining that we are fighting amongst ourselves also, and we're not. We're not. We embrace each other. It's a sisterhood, and I wish that people understood that as well. But yeah, it was amazing just being in the top 3 with you, Sophia. I think you are absolutely brilliant, and you represented Mexico. You represented Mexico to the best of your ability, and they should be super proud of you.
Thank you.
They should be. You're most welcome. Okay, I think I'm going to take 2 more, and then we can just try and wrap up our conversation. Are you at work now? Are you shooting, or what's happening?
No.
Home.
Yeah.
Are you home now? Okay.
Yeah,
Somebody's asking me, when am I coming to Mexico? When are you inviting me to Mexico, guys?
Oh,
somebody from Mexico needs to invite me.
I mean, this is your country. People love you here. I'd be glad to have you in my country, and I would invite you to even stay in my home, in my apartment, this right now. But whenever you want to come, I believe like everyone here in Mexico would love to meet you.
Thank you so much, Sophia. Well, I'll definitely come as soon as I can come. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing beautiful people of Mexico for sure. Okay, I'm going to look for one more question, and then we can say our final words. Say what is in your heart, Sophia, that you want people to know, or if you want to live, a message for us.
Sure.
You can let us know. Let's see. Oh. What? Okay. We just came out of Pride Month, so I think I should put this one out there, because we're also speaking about social discrimination and marginalized groups. So what do you think about the LGBTQIA plus community?
It's a very important question right now, but I believe that right now it should be so understood already, because we are trying to make it look harder or more complicated than it already is. I believe that community is only, everyone. What I want to say with this is that we shouldn't be trying to figure out what someone has between their hands all the time. We shouldn't be trying to figure out what someone wants to do with their lives, who someone wants to love, what someone wants to feel like. I believe that we should all just understand that we shouldn't just generalize absolutely nothing about human beings. We have to see every single person as an individual, and they can just like love, prefer, or just be whoever they want to be, and do whatever they want to do with their lives, as long as they're not hurting anyone else, as long as they are manifesting, as long as they're accepting themselves, no matter if that means changing who they used to be. I believe that we should be promoting the importance of how much we accept that no one is under our control and that no one is us. So as long as we get together, instead of calling them a community, because 90% of my friends belong to that community. So as much as we stop calling them like a community that's like far away, and we try to make them feel like we're all the same community, because we're all trying to love who we love. And you know how hard it is when you fall in love with someone, no matter their gender. It's just so hard to get them off your mind. So why are we trying to just generalize what is right, what's wrong, who's right, who's wrong, and what someone should do with their body? I mean, it's just 100% their decision. And as much as we understand that our love for ourselves can be represented in loving others, I believe that matter would just be over with. Because, you know, I'm just of seeing my friends suffer from the same problem over and over for so many years, feeling discriminated, feeling rejected for just being themselves, for just trying to find who they are, for just trying to find an identity. So I would just say, people, just love. I mean, we have so many problems out there. There's this virus, this giant virus that's trying to kill us, you know, as humans beings, and we shouldn't be fighting each other for such small things that shouldn't matter to someone who's not even living them. So that's what I believe in.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sofia, thank you so much for that. I want to know now, what's in your heart? What do you want us to know? What do you want to, live us with? You have people from Mexico, you have people, from all across the world listening in right now. What's the one thing that you want them to know?
Maybe the one thing I want to tell them is still same about mental and emotional health. I want to keep saying how important it is for you to accept who you are. That doesn't mean change. That doesn't mean don't try to be better. That means that who you are today has to make you feel proud, because that's who you are. That's it. That's how big this complex idea is. In a beauty pageant or in any kind of platform, you have to understand that you're not supposed to fill someone's shoes. You're not supposed to live up to someone's idea or mentality. You're supposed to just be yourself. And it's the same in the world. Doesn't matter your job, your lifestyle. It doesn't matter what you want to do. As long as you understand that what's most important in life is who you are in the process, and the way you're feeling, and the way you're acting, and the way you're reacting, and how much you're loving yourself and others. That's the most important thing for me. So in order for you to achieve success in any kind of way, you have to feel the success within you and believe it and be confident about it, and then everything's just gonna happen. So maybe right now, to all my Mexicans, to everyone who's listening from all around the world, I just want to say, love who you are, embrace who you are, make other people understand that you're not going to change because someone wants you to. You're just going to stay true to yourself, and you're going to be happy about it, because it's not just, being stubborn about who you are. It's just feeling so happy and confident with your own skin, with your own mind, with your own heart, with your people. And that, I think that's the best way to change the world.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much, Sophie. That was beautifully said. I think that everybody took it to heart. And you are such a queen. You exude confidence and beauty. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was such a beautiful conversation. I will definitely stay, in touch, and hopefully see you in Mexico.
Yes, and if I ever go to New York and I can catch you there, I'd love to visit.
Of course, please do. Thank you so much, Sophia. Have a lovely day further. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to everybody for joining us. I think what we can learn, and what we have learned from today, is that we need to learn to be more kinder, to learn tolerance, to learn about other people who are different from who we are, and to try to love better. Thank you so much for joining me. I cannot wait to see you on another live with another exciting guest and another exciting topic. Goodbye. Have a lovely day further. Have a good night and good morning.